Halloween 3, I'm not going to talk about because it's an anthology, which isn't related to the
He won't
franchise.
talk about it because it's a dark mark on the Halloween series.
Son of a bitch! Let me tell you how it's about to go. Let me show you the towel you're about to throw. This is hip-hop, try to run in our house, we'll knock your ass straight out the door. I'm the enemy's epitome, the fantasy, my tendency to mentally give your career the death penalty. I instantly advise you to match my attention.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Lostlegendstv. We are
Rated MC.
And I'm Michael.
And I'm Jason.
We are doing the next matchup, our most anticipated personal matchups, and I wonder who that is today. Can you guess it?
Can you take a guess? Well, you're wrong.
I'll give you a hint. 80s slasher. That's all you get, though.
Alright, and if you guessed My Little Pony versus the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, you were right.
You win the giveaway.
Let's go ahead to the battle.
Sweaty would not recommend.
Friday.
Saturday the 14th versus Thanksgiving.
Stupid shit. So we got Friday the 13th versus
Halloween.
my personal favorite versus his personal favorite. Who comes out on top? This is the most anticipated matchup out of the entire thing, and you can probably tell by how excited we are.
This is going to be one hell of a debate.
This is a debate. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if this isn't at least a 30-minute video.
Little FYI, I am right now editing this video. This is not a fucking 30-minute video.
Let's get into it. We're going to start with plots, sequels, and freshness.
Let the debate begin.
And since it's your house, you start us off with Halloween.
So look, Halloween follows this character of Michael Myers. A 6-year-old child kills his sister, gets locked up in a sanitarium. He is overseen by this doctor, Dr. Loomis, the iconic Dr. Loomis, played by the late Donald Pleasance. When he turns 21, he escapes the asylum and he goes back to Haddonfield. And one of his victims is Laurie Strode. Mm-hmm. Her friends get killed, and you have Dr. Loomis trying to find Michael. Michael is depending on which timeline you choose, but we're going to go with the original timeline. Michael gets shot, falls out the balcony, ending scene, he's nowhere to be found. Halloween 2 takes place just mere hours after Michael Myers following Laurie to the hospital. And it turns out they reveal that they're actually long-lost brother and sister. At the very end, Donald Pleasance, his character Dr. Loomis, sacrifices himself by blowing up some oxygen tanks and in turn killing him and Michael Myers, which none of them really die. Halloween 3, I'm not going to talk about because it's an anthology, which isn't related to the
He won't
franchise.
talk about it because it's a dark mark on the Halloween series.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah. We'll talk.
We'll talk.
Halloween 4 takes place 10 years after Halloween, I believe. Starts out, Michael Myers is being transported to a different hospital. He revitalizes, kills the paramedics, he escapes, dons his mask again, the overalls, but this time he's going after Jamie Lloyd, which is Laurie Strode's daughter. Mm-hmm. In this timeline, Laurie Strode died in a car accident. In Halloween 5, well, at the end of Halloween 4, the whole fucking town shoots up Michael Myers. He falls into it as well in the movie. But they lead you to believe that Jamie Lloyd's going to carry the torch because she stabs her stepmother and she dons the classic clown mask. Dr. Loomis cries out and he thinks, hey, this is bad news. We should kill her. No, but Halloween 5 takes place a year afterwards, continuing on to the Jamie Lloyd storyline. It's basically a repeat of 4 but he kills some of the original characters in 4. Michael Myers is not defeated, but he's actually jailed up in this one. But at the very end, the fucking police station is shot up and Michael's nowhere to be seen. Halloween 6 takes place a few years afterwards. Jamie has this baby and Michael Myers is trying to kill her and the baby to end the storyline. This is where they incorporate some lore, some backstory. You also get the return of George P. Wilbur, who played Michael Myers in Halloween 4. Mm-hmm. Except for the reshoots. This is the last movie that Donald Pleasance portrays Dr. Loomis in, which sucks because throughout this whole film, they do not share a scene. I have a soft spot for this film. A lot of people don't like it, but a theatrical version versus a producer's version, so it all depends on what you prefer. Halloween H2O ignores 4, 5, and 6. It picks up directly after 1. Laurie Strode is in his school. She's one of the head mistresses. It's like a closed-off community school. She has this son. She's having flashbacks. She's traumatized. She's a semi-alcoholic. Michael Myers comes to hunt her down 20 years later. At the very end, Michael Myers is defeated. So they say. That brings us to Halloween 8, which takes place directly after, well, a few years after, Laurie Strode is back in the asylum. Mm-hmm. She's basically a nut now. She gets killed off the first 15 minutes of the film. Mm-hmm. But this takes place as a more modernized version of Halloween, where they're exploring the Myers house and they're doing basically like a web series of it. You have Busta Rhymes ahead of Dangertainment, and they're doing basically like a web series. Michael Myers kills most of them. Busta Rhymes and this girl survives. At the very end, Michael Myers is burnt up as he's laying on the table. His eyes open. In film. Then you get to the reboot, which is the Rob Zombie version. This is almost a piece-by-piece version of John Carpenter's classic film. You have a Myers backstory, which is he grew up in this bad home. His mom was a stripper. He had this piece of shit boyfriend.
It was a lot more brutal.
It was a lot more brutal. And this one, Michael Myers is fucking tall as fuck, beefy as fuck. He looked nice.
Yeah.
And overall, this wasn't a bad film. I didn't like the particular backstory they chose for Michael. But nonetheless, it's what we got. And then we go to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, which is clusterfuck. Because this takes directly fucking after one. At the end of his first remake, he gets shot in the head. And the second one, Rob Zombie incorporates this fucking weird, like almost semi-demonic storyline of you have fucking grown Michael Myers seeing his dead mother with a white horse. And then you have him seeing himself as a child, and he's hearing voices saying, "Hey, go kill Laurie." It's a clusterfuck. I don't even want to talk about it. But then we have the great Halloween 2018, which takes it back to the fucking original. You have all the main characters come back, including Nick Castle, who makes a cameo as Michael Myers. You have Jamie Lee Curtis back. You have fucking John Carpenter himself, the maker, come back. Not only did he write the fucking story, he godfathered the project. He redid all the fucking scores and made them phenomenal. This is an older Michael, but in this one, it ignores every fucking sequel except for the original. At the end of the first one, he got apprehended, and he's been locked up for the past 4 years. He escapes. But this time, really, his focus isn't on Laurie Strode. It's just he wants to get back to Haddonfield and kill. But in this one, Laurie Strode has been preparing all her fucking life for this moment. Now she is the fucking hunter. She's hunting Michael Myers down. You don't have a Dr. Loomis in here. You have a different doctor who's obsessed with Michael, and he helped him escape. That way he can get Laurie and Michael together. He got fucking face stomped by Michael. But that is a beautiful fucking film, and now we're awaiting 2 more films, and I have complete faith in the franchise. That's where we are.
All right, and we get into the Friday the 13th franchise. The first one takes place when a little boy basically drowns because the camp counselors at Crystal Lake decided they would rather have sex than watch the little Jason Voorhees. And then the whole film is the POV kill, which is beautifully done. Every person, like, whether they got stabbed, they got their throat slit, or and there's like some extra, like, there's some nice kills that we'll get into later if we get to that point. But and all in all, like, they come to the reveal that it was actually Pamela Voorhees who was doing the kills. And if you'd never watched the series and you knew Jason was the killer and you went back and watched one, you would be like, why isn't he the killer? You got the classic scene where, like, Jason jumps out the water to scare the final girl. And then she dies at the very beginning of 2. They've reopened the camp again, pack and act. Jason basically, at this point, is just getting revenge in a way because he's going after all the camp counselors. It does seem more likely like his focus is off of, like, the people who have sex or whatever. He goes through everybody in the camp. There's the dude who fell, like the dude in the wheelchair, he got him, and like the couple upstairs having sex, he got them. And in the end, Jenny actually puts on Mrs. Voorhees' sweater that she wore in the first one to distract Jason long enough to get like a shot in on him. You also see Pamela's severed head in this little shack area. But the ending, he jumps through the window, basically attacks him, and that's left ambiguous. The third one, he dons the hockey mask that everyone is so familiar with. This one was a 3D film. This one took place at Higgins Haven, which is around Crystal Lake, but not on the lake actually itself. If I'm not explaining enough for y'all, I'm trying to speed through this so we're not doing like a 40-minute film video of this. Basically, this is his place now, and anyone who comes there, that's your mistake. And if you don't know, like, by this point, if you didn't know about Jason, you were just dumb for being there. In the end, he is killed. It leads into the fourth one. He wakes up in the hospital and kills the nurse there and the doctor there, and goes right back to Camp Crystal Lake. And this one, there's Tommy Jarvis, who's a staple in the franchise. As a child, him and his family had their own house, and there was a house across the road from them where a group of teenagers were having like a getaway, basically. Crispin Glover.
What? A dead fuck?
A dead fuck? And he just starts running through people, tossing bitches out the window and everything. Jarvis puts on a mask. He shaved his head to look like Jason, and that distracted Jason long enough for him to fucking hit him with a fucking axe shot to the head, which is this little axe mark here.
The iconic. Boop.
Yep. 5 is weirder because it doesn't have Jason in it. It has a guy dressed up as Jason using that lore to scare people, but in a way he's also using it to exact revenge because his idiotic son was in this rehab facility.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rehab orphanage, basically.
It was called Pinehurst. Roy took exception to that. And there's some kills that like made no sense. There was no reason for him to kill them unless Roy just snapped. It comes down again. Tommy Jarvis is at this rehab facility. He's a lot older. He ends up helping save. He ends up saving the woman who runs the Pinehurst and this little boy named Reggie. They knock Roy off. He's revealed to be wearing like a crazy little mask where his face was out, but he still had the Jason Voorhees mask on. And then they did like a little teaser like they were going to make Tommy Jarvis the Jason going into the next film. They didn't do that. Instead, they brought Jarvis back into the film in 6. He and a friend decide to go burn the corpse of Jason Voorhees. They reanimate his corpse, and now he's basically a zombie who's unstoppable. Tommy has a fight with him and everything, and then they basically throw a chain around his neck, which would lead you into 7. Yep. They tied him up to the boat, try to kill him that way. He gets out in 7, and in 7, there's a girl with telekinetic powers. Watched her father die at the lake. I really don't like this film. Credit where credit's due to Kane Hodder. He plays perfect as Jason. But the ending where her dad, who died years before this shit happened, comes out of the water and drags Jason back down with him. Fuck that. So 8, Jason goes to Manhattan. I don't fucking know why Jason decided to go to Manhattan, but the motherfucker goes to Manhattan. Can you give me a logical reason why the motherfucker went to Manhattan besides
there is no
we're making money because he's in New York? They're on like basically a ship, and he's just running through everybody on the ship. It has a crazy ending where like he gets hit with this acid in the sewer that fucking melts his face like this. If you can see behind Ray, I don't know if you can.
But then he turns into a fucking child again.
Yeah, he kind of turns into a fucking child. 9, he goes to hell. He's basically a fucking parasite. He takes over people's body and uses them to kill people, which is a downside for a lot of reasons. For the main reason, Jason's barely in the fucking movie. It's a Jason Voorhees film. Give us Jason Voorhees. All in all, at the end, Jason takes on the main characters or whatever. He gets taken down back to hell, and then they do the classic little Freddy Krueger thing where he grabs Jason's mask, pulls it down, and that sets up Freddy vs. Jason. We did not put this in the list, but I do also want to talk about a little bit about the remake, because the remake was really nicely done.
It was nice, man.
It was nice.
Even though they kind of humanized him, they gave him a more variety of like he uses fucking bow and arrow, and he's basically a survivalist. I liked it.
And then they try to make it like give you an explanation as to how he was able to get around the camp so easy because he had like underground tunnels and shit. The underground tunnels is but like I like they tried to explain it. You already know where I'm gonna stand on this. You already know where he's gonna stand on this. So at this point, we one of us has to sway the other. 9 is awful. Friday the 13th. Okay, yeah. It is terrible. Besides that, even with 7, at least Kane Hodder is Jason. So even though I don't like the telekinetic storyline, at least you have a good guy playing Jason, and Jason's in the entire film. When you get to Halloween, 6 is awful, just as bad as 9 in my eyes. Or Friday the 13th. All right, you disagree however you want to, whatever. 6 for Halloween is 9 for Friday the 13th. They're just 2 films that should not have been made, or at least you should have done something to improve the fucking story. 3 in Halloween, like you said, is an anthology. It's not really canon, but it is shit. There are some of the shittiest kills in that thing. One dude gets bit by a fucking snake in a Halloween, like at least give me, like, at least in 9, Jason takes over people's bodies and he is killing people. Even though it's not Jason, you don't actually see Jason Voorhees, at least his presence is killing people. Okay. In that one, you do not have that. Like, it is just random fucking kills. Like, that one girl who fucking dies from that electricity thing in her fucking hand. So fucking stupid. It dropped and it killed like a room full of scientists at one point. It's awful. And again, I know it's not canon. And then also you get Rob Zombie's, the second one. And that's just, like you said, it's a clusterfuck. It's fucking awful. Like, I don't see how you go from, like, that first one was solid. You think he would improve upon it. No. He fucking didn't.
So let's talk Friday the 13th. I agree. And I wouldn't really agree, even including Halloween 3, but it is part of the franchise nonetheless, so I'll give you that. My thing is, with Friday, it lacks consistency. What I mean by that, Part 6, which a lot of people bring up as one of the better sequels, okay? Mm-hmm. He is brought back by a bolt of lightning. Yep. Okay? And number 7, he's brought back by a fucking telekinetic powered bitch. Mm-hmm. Okay? At the end, he's defeated by this character you saw in the first fucking 10 minutes of the film, bringing him down. Mm. And number 8, he's brought back by lightning. Just him going to fucking Manhattan was just a cash grab. Yeah. And when he dies, he turns back into a little boy. Mm-hmm. And then 9, even if it is or not fucking canon, he's a fucking deadite running around possessing other people's fucking bodies, which is terrible. Yeah. So yes, Halloween has one horrible fucking film, which is 3. But if you take just the character of Michael Myers, even people fucking hate 6. I don't mind 6 because at least they took a shot at some lore. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is fucking bad, but at least they stuck to some substance. Okay. Here's another thing I'll bring up there, okay? If we talk about the Friday the 13th franchise, and again, I knew this was going to get this way. We're in the first fucking section. If we look at Friday the 13th, there's not a defiant final girl. You know what I mean? For most of the series. Tommy Jarvis ends up being one of the main characters, but even in that situation, he's only in like 3 of them. Okay? Laurie Strode is a big part of Halloween. Is she not? She? And one of them, they killed her off screen in a car wreck. And then again, when they put her in the fucking mental hospital as a nutcase, she died in the first 15 minutes of the film. The entirety of the Halloween franchise, they basically just said, fuck this, when they did the newest one, the 2018 film, and just took place right after the first one. Just like 40 years later. But at least they didn't give you a great character like Laurie Strode and give her 2 shitty deaths and then basically say, fuck it, we're just going to restart the whole fucking thing. And not even restart it, just like, anything from 2 to fucking, like, until the 2018 one does not exist, basically. Does not count. It just goes from 1, the first Halloween in 1978, to the 2018 film. At least in the Friday film, we didn't have that. Yes, some of these movies are bad in Friday the 13th film. I'm not going to discredit that. But there was never to the point where they were just like, fuck it, these do not count. Let's just take from the first one and go from there. But you semi have the same problem in the Friday franchise with the films being canon. Mm-hmm. There are things that happen in 8 where we were talking about this other day. Dialogues. There's no possible way that can be canon according to their plot. 9, you can fucking it cannot be canon.
Can't be canon.
And fucking we didn't even talk about Jason X.
No.
About them sending at least.
Jason. I don't know why I didn't talk about Jason X. I just skipped it for whatever. I guess because the ending of 9 or whatever. But Jason X, he's in fucking space.
At least they didn't send Michael to space, bro. That's the thing. Like, to me, at least, yeah, there's some fucking horrible Halloween films, but at least they tried to stick to the basics. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I can understand, stepping outside the box, but even when they basically said fuck Laurie Strode, hey, let's go after the daughter. You know what I'm saying? And like when H2O, I mean, you can argue that they tie in both of the franchises. Because it's never clear if that's canon with just 1, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. You don't know.
Okay, cool. But if we go from that, there's 3 films in the Friday the films that are not canon to the story that they would have now. If they just made a new one, they would probably just reboot the series, honestly. But there's only 3 films that are not canon. If you count 8, 9, and 10, right? Mm-hmm. So even if we count 7 with the telekinetic shit. The only ones that are canon right now in the storyline for Halloween is 1 in 2018. You can't count none of the Rob Zombie ones. You can't count 2, 3, even though with 3 being an anthology, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They went all over the place, bro. They really did.
Friday did too, though.
I know, but
you can't argue that.
I'm not. Okay.
They're almost identical in the shit they did wrong.
I get you, but still, it's just.
I think we're going on the tangent, but we're missing the point. Which films had the better plots, sequels, and who kept it fresh? Mm-hmm. I'm still saying Halloween, bro.
I'm still saying right there that I told you it was going to get to this right. We just have to flip a coin. So we can get off of this damn tangent. This is the longest we've spent on any of them, but this is the most anticipated one for us. If it lands on Jason's mask like that, Friday the 13th wins.
It has to be a Jason flipper. It can't be a Michael flipper.
I don't have a fucking Michael flip, so fuck you. If it lands on the backside and it's black, Halloween takes it. All right? Okay. Ready? All right, fuck it. Halloween takes it.
Halloween takes the first point.
Yeah. So now we're getting into box office. So we're going on to the box office round. Which one to bring in the most money? So we go to the Friday the 13th series. The one that made the least amount of money was 8. It made only $14 million. It still made its money back, which is good, but it only made $14 million. And then the highest one, of course, is Freddy vs. Jason at $116 million. And if you discredit that one for whatever reason, the highest one is the first one at $59.8 million, which is pretty good. And then if you average it all out, you get $310.45 million as the gross box office for the Friday the 13th films without the remake.
And then we get to the Halloween franchise, the lowest being Part 5, only bringing in a $11.6 million profit. The highest being the 2018 film, being $255.5 million. You average all that out, you get about $541.5 million in gross for the Halloween franchise.
Which means Halloween takes it.
Halloween takes the point.
2-0.
2-0.
But I will say this for y'all. If money-wise, if you discredit the 2018 film, Friday would have took it. Because 2018 felt like they had a lot more, like... They didn't even go crazy with the budget because they didn't. It was still like $12 million. But more modern films are going to make more money. Mm-hmm. Like the more modern we get, like the more money you're going to expect them to make.
Which I suspect the next Friday film is going to do very well at the box office.
Very well.
Because like we're in such a fucking lawsuit hiatus.
We have to.
People want fucking Jason right now.
Yeah. So, like I said, if you discredit it, we get that. Even if we added in the remake, it wouldn't make up the difference. So we go from there. So now we're going on critically. So we're doing critics and audience score, what the critics thought about it, what we as the fans think about it. This is where we're probably going on another tangent because we do not agree with 90% of these fucking scores.
Nope. Not at all.
Not critically, not audience score. It's fucking trash. But some of these are rated worse than some of the shittiest films. Like, there are some Anaconda movies that are rated higher than almost all.
Yeah, those fucking horrible fucking sci-fi CGI bullshit films, dude.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into this.
That.
So the lowest rated one critically for Friday the 13th is 8 at 3.1 out of 10. I don't agree with because I don't fucking like 9. I don't like 7.
There's no way that's worse than 9, bro.
It's not. And then you get the best one, which is the first one at 5.58. I also don't agree because the first one was a really good film, especially for the time that they had, and especially when they do you take all the POV kills and then the twist at the end. You average it out, we only get 4.19 out of 10. And that's another thing I will not agree with.
So we get to the Halloween franchise. Critically, the worst one was Part 8, being 1.9 out of 10, which is fucking terrible. Mm-hmm. The highest one...
It might be the lowest one we've had.
The highest one being the original at 8.69 out of 10. You average all the films out, you get 4.67 out of 10, which is below average.
But that means Halloween takes that when we go to audience score. The lowest one, somehow, even with the audience score, even with people shitting on the 9th film so much, the lowest one is 3. And I don't agree with that at all. It's 11%. 9 is not a better film than 5, 3, or 8. The first one's audience score is 64%. I still think it should be a little higher. Then you average all this out, it's one of the lowest ones. And that baffles me. It's 29%.
Then we get to Halloween. The lowest one being a 9%, which is Part 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. So you have the original Halloween being the best at 96%, which is up there. You average everything out, you only get 37.2%. Halloween will take the point.
Hellraiser had a better audience score than Friday the 13th. Killjoy had a better response audience-wise than fucking Friday the 13th, dude.
Horror movies get a bad rap from critics, dude. Like, I think they'd get that regardless.
Exorcist had a better one than both of them. And unfortunately for me, I mean, I will concede the L for Friday the 13th and give it to Halloween. Michael Myers will take this and move on to the next round to fight Psycho.
However, we are not done with this video.
Friday the 13th, we have to talk about some of these fucking kills.
Well, here, dude. Like, if we was in the situation, even if Friday would have made it to the kill round, Halloween don't have a chance against some of the fucking kills Jason do. I mean, there's no competition. Like, the best you get is the 2018 remake.
Which, he's violent. Like, that one in the first Rob Zombie film, there's some, like, violent-ass kills. Like, even some creative kills.
But other than that, it's just basically stabbings.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, looking back at it now, knowing everything that we know, it's possible Friday the 13th could have pulled this out in 5. Even though this is a sweep, it's very possible they could have pulled it out in 5. But if we talk about kills for Friday the 13th, there's the classic Pamela kill. The dude that got stabbed through the throat. Kevin Bacon getting stabbed through the throat. The liquid nitrogen kill is number 2 on my favorite kills of all time. Of like this entire franchise.
Oh, it's beautiful, bro.
It's brutal. It's fucking beautiful. Kill wise, I don't think Halloween would have had this.
No.
He wouldn't. Like, it wouldn't have. And then we get to fearfulness. I think I would be more scared of Jason. Just because of his strength. And after 6, he's basically a zombie that's hard to kill.
I don't know. I think I would still pick Halloween on fearfulness because for the most part, Jason's MO, if you survive, you survive. Mike will fucking follow you.
And I feel that. But like I said, I'm going off of the fact that how strong Jason is. Because we've talked about this. If it was a fight, one-on-one between Jason and Michael Myers,
Jason would beat that ass.
Jason would beat his ass. So, like, I think Jason is stronger.
Fearfulness, like, if it's just Michael here and Jason here, and I had to pick one to die by, I would be more afraid of Jason.
Yeah. Like, if I had to fight one of them two, I would fight Michael. Yeah. He's just skinnier and lankier in the original movies. Jason's still kind of big in the earlier movies. And I wouldn't fuck with Kane Hodder for shit. Like, none of, like, 7, 8, or 9. I would not fuck with any of those Jasons. We met the man in person. He is strong as shit. I know what he's about. I'm not about it. I don't want it. But again, so it takes it. We ran it way too long on this shit. Halloween moves on to the next round. It's going to face Psycho, the classic Psycho film, and it moves into the final 16, which is set now. Tell us why you think Friday the 13th should have won if you agree with me in that sense. Like I said, I graciously would take this L because Halloween is a great fucking film. Like, Halloween would have been the only fucking film to knock off Friday the 13th to me. You know what I mean?
It had to be.
Only one that could have took it down.
Anything else, because this was randomized. Anything else would have lost.
Anything else in this slasher bracket would have probably lost. Except for maybe Scream or Nightmare on Elm Street, we would at least had a good conversation.
And that would depend on the numbers.
Yeah. But, like I said, let us know what you thought about it. Tell us why you agree with us, why Michael Myers, like the Halloween franchise, is better than the...
or if you disagree. You know,
or if you disagree.
I'm sure a lot of people will.
That's fine. But until next time, y'all. Doses.
Adios.
When the counts like damn, what a slam. Bring us back to you, grouches. My crew just might roll on you like